So in this video, we have a guy who's going to give a serious warning to any illegals here in the United States to leave before ICE comes and finds you, right? And the reason why that's important is because since the big beautiful bill passed, ICE is going to have billions of dollars at their disposal to engage in their full scale operation. And not only that, but you got, of course, with Trump getting, all these wins from the Supreme Court that allowed him to, engage in this mass deportation, and he doesn't have to worry about judges, kneecapping him. He's going to be able to do exactly what he needs to do in order to make sure he cleans this, right? When Trump talks about how this is going to be the largest mass deportation ever, like, he wasn't playing, all right? He was serious. So let's hear what this guy has to say, and then I'll share my thoughts.
If you're an illegal immigrant that currently lives in the United States, you should watch this video. It's for you, okay? I don't think that you're in a winning situation. You're going to lose no matter what, okay? ICE is not going anywhere. Their budget is being tripled over the next 3 years, thanks to the recent bill that just passed, the big beautiful bill, meaning that ICE is going to be the largest, if not one of the largest federal enforcement agencies in the country. What does that tell me? It tells me that America has changed the way that they think. They no longer want immigrants in the United States. The immigrants that are here already and are citizens, I guess they're here to stay. But the ones that are coming here with the hopes to become a citizen, I don't think it's going to happen anymore. Now, there's a lot of things that have made this clear to me. For example, people are showing up to their court dates to report. Illegals are, right? And when they're showing up to court, they're being arrested and deported. So you're showing up doing what you're supposed to do, and you're still being deported, okay? Now, if you don't show up to court, what's going to happen? You're going to definitely get deported for not reporting, okay? So the point is, it's obvious that illegal immigration is not what's going to be happening in America anymore, okay? And you're lying to yourself if you think this is going to get better. And you're lying to yourself if you think protesting in the street is going to do anything at all. It's not going to do anything. It's not going to change anything, okay? The change in America is here to stay. And I think it's wiser for you to grab your family and yourself and leave willingly. Because if you leave willingly, there's going to be a lot less damage done to you and your family. If you don't leave willingly and ICE finds you, they're going to tear your family apart. They're going to put you all in different detention centers all across the country and ship you off to different places because they've already got arrangements where they can ship you to countries that you don't even belong to. It will be absolute horror for you if you wait for that. It's better if you just leave on your own. And I think that's what the federal government's trying to encourage with all these tactics, is to get people to just want to leave on their own. And if you think your immigration lawyer is going to help you, they're not going to help you. I think that what's going to happen soon is a lot of immigration law firms are going to get raided by the federal government and the attorneys arrested because they're rampant with fraud. And I think this administration is going to go after immigration attorneys pretty soon. So don't think that your immigration attorney is going to save you. They're not. If you're an illegal
and let's be honest, like, of course Trump would rather have that, right? He'd rather have like any illegal immigrants that's here. He would rather they just self-deport because obviously it would be cheap. It would be less work. It would be cheaper for for the ICE agents and for the United States. He would rather that. But of course, there's a lot of people that they think that they're going to be able to hide and just be able to just chill for the next 3-4 years and not be underground. But eventually you're probably going to get caught, right? And why live that life like that? And this is the thing, right? It's sad because there are a lot of people that are trying to that are in the process of doing it the right way. And of course, because of what Biden did, right? He's the one to blame. If you're going to blame anyone for this, blame the Democrats and Biden for allowing this flood of illegal immigrants just right into the United States, right? Without any vetting, right? You just said, just come on in and just flood the United States. And for the people that are doing it the right way, that's actually going through the process, that's paying the money, the fees to actually become a citizen, they're going to be the ones that's hurting the process because now it's going to be even more difficult for a lot of people doing it the right way to become citizens. Right, it's going to take a lot longer because let's be honest here. You're talking about a lot of American citizens here, a lot of people here that's gotten to a point where it say, you know what, we just need to close shop, right? We need to not allow anyone in for the next, say 5 years at least, because we need to get all these things in order. Like, we have so many people in this country that are here illegally, causing all types of issues, in terms of, taking on government funds, raising taxes and stuff like that. So we need to make sure we clean that all up. And because of all that, because of that fraud, you got people saying, you know what, just close up shop, get everybody out of here, and let's reset this thing and make sure people come in the right way. And the people that's going to be hurt the most are the people that are actually going through the process and trying to do it the right way. Because let's say maybe it might take them longer, or maybe their just applications going to get denied altogether. Who knows? But they are the ones that's going to be hurt in the process. And it's just so weird because, like I said, the Democrats and Biden are the biggest, obviously the biggest reason for why this has happened, right? This is like an overcorrection. When you just let so many people in without vetting, you get the other side that's going to say, you know what? We need to overcorrect. We need to make sure we just get everyone out of here because you were so irresponsible with how you let people come into the country. Okay. So they're the biggest one to blame. And you look at these Democrats, they're so performative, right? You got a lot of Democrats that you've never seen before, you've never heard before, right? There was a thing on CNN, I think, where some congresswoman, was a couple of them, and they were trying to enter alligator Alcatraz, right? They were trying to get into him, but because they didn't make an appointment, they weren't allowed in. And of course, they made this whole big thing how they were denied entry into it when they're supposed to, make an appointment. They just think they could just show up and then come in because they're Congress people, but that's not the way it works. Right, but they're so performative, and they all do. And you see that with the Abrego Garcia. You see it with the other, Congress people that were trying to get into the detention center. They're so performative. They want to make sure they put everything on camera because that's their goal, right? They want to make a show of this. It's not like they really actually care about illegal immigrants, because we all know when it comes to Democrats, the reason why they want illegal immigrants is not because they care for their well-being. It's because they want them for cheap labor. Right? We've heard Democrats from, what's her name, Jasmine Crockett, and other Democrats that said it out their mouth, like who's gonna pick our crops, or who's gonna do the farm work. Right? They want them for cheap labor. They don't really care about them. They don't care about making sure that if they're coming from a country that's harming, keeping them unsafe. They don't care about that. They just care about bringing them over because, one, they want cheap labor, and two, they want to make sure when it comes to census that they can put them on the census, and then they can find a way to get more congressional seats, increase their population so they can get more congressional seats in government. And that's why they use them for, because they don't really care about their well-being. We all know that. And of course, when it comes to fraud, when it comes to election, this is all a process to find a way to game the system, to find a way to get more votes. Okay, and we know that, like we all know, Democrats do not care about legal immigration. They don't care. They use it as a way to game the system. Okay, and they use it the way to get votes and of course cheap labor. And for those that are obviously in the country illegally, I understand for a lot of them that they're just probably gonna just try to hide out and wait till hopefully Trump when Trump terms ends. But then you're also hoping that the person in the next election is not another Republican, the J.D. Vance or someone else that's going to also continue this process when it comes to legal immigration. And you're just harming yourself. You're making it worse for yourself, because if you do get caught, then you're never going to be able to come back in. Right? So for a lot of people, yes, self-deporting is probably the smart thing to do, because then you can come in the right way and then increase your chances of becoming a citizen again. But these are the choices that you have to make. Okay, and like I said, you're talking about ICE getting billions of dollars at their disposal because of the big beautiful bill passing, and they're going to they're going after places like New York, Chicago, right, and of course California. Right, those are the places. Those are the hot spots for a lot of illegal immigrants. Like we know that's where they all go, and they're going to be coming for you, and that's the thing for a lot of people. And you have to understand, blame the Democrats. They are the ones that messed up this process. They're the ones that overloaded the process and said, just let everybody in. Like that wouldn't have consequences in the future, especially if Trump got back into office, which he did. So now Trump is like, overcorrect. We need to make sure we get everybody up out of here. Everybody. We don't care how to get it done. It's going to get done. And now that bill is passed, man, the money is there. That's what that was what they were waiting for. They were waiting for the money to be dispersed, and now they're going to hire a whole bunch of agents, and they're coming for everybody. Right? They may not get you today, may not get you tomorrow, but Trump is going to be here for the next 3.5 years. So they got time. So those are my thoughts. Interested to hear your thoughts. Make sure you leave a comment down below. Hit the like button and share. And if you haven't done so, make sure to subscribe. So guys, take care. Have a good one. Later.